Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me Swastika and today we are going to start off with the current affairs from the Hindu for July 8th. So I have done my masters in political science from Jawaharlal Nehru University. I've done my BA honors in political science from Delhi University, and if you like my content then please subscribe on YouTube and let's move on. So today, in the editorial page, there was an article on China's nuclear arsenal. That's the second article, bottom article, and on the op-ed, there was an article on China and the South China Sea and how China is trying to dominate South China Sea. And then there is some short news in which we would be talking about vaccine development and cancer. Moving on. So, China's expanding nuclear arsenal. This has become a major issue of concern because China is pursuing a planned modernization of its nuclear arsenal. This is seemingly problematic for India because we always seem to be um in some sort of an argument or in some sort of a dispute with China regarding a boundary. In 2019, People's Republic of ballistic missile tests were the highest amongst designated nuclear weapon states. So China is increasingly trying to increase its nuclear arsenal to the extent where in 2019 the ballistic missile tests were the highest in the nuclear weapon states. So this is contrary to what is happening in all the other countries like USA and Russia, who are actually trying to disarm and are trying to reduce their nuclear arsenal. China is doing exactly the opposite by attempting to increase it. China, according to the International Panel on Fissile Materials (IPFM), is expected to possess 2.9 plus minus zero point 0.1 metric tons of weapons grade plutonium compared to India's 0.6 0.15 tons of WGP. So this basically means that if China is going to keep increasing its nuclear arsenal, there is going to be pressure on India to sort of increase its nuclear arsenal because India is surrounded by Pakistan. This is India. This is China. This is Pakistan. Both of these countries have a nuclear arsenal, and China is constantly increasing its military strength. So India obviously will feel the need to retaliate and will feel the need to uh, create and acquire more and more nuclear weapons and increase the nuclear arsenal. More so, countries like USA, which are again in a trade war with China, would also feel the need to increase the nuclear arsenal. So this is problematic because this implies that instead of disarmament, a strategy that the world was going towards after the disaster of the World War II and the blasts in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. This we are going in the opposite direction. So, People's Republic of China is expanding. USA and Russia are trying to reduce. They are going the opposite way. So, it's a cause for concern. Stockholm International Peace Research Institute observes that China's nuclear arsenal has risen from 290 warheads in 2019 to 320 warheads in 2020. So it's problematic, and for India especially, there are certain challenges that we have to address. The first is that India is being armed twisted into fait accompli. This basically means that India has to accept things for what they are. So if Beijing decides to uh, have complete control over India's boundary in Galwan, in Sangpo, then India would be arm twisted into accepting it for what it is because China can flex its muscularity and dominate India into doing what they want us to do. And there is not even, it's not even diplomatic, it's not benefiting them, they just want to expand. People's Republic of China is basing a part of its nuclear arsenal in inland territories such as far western Xinjiang region, which is close to Aksai Chin. So, if this is Jammu and Kashmir, and this is Aksai Chin, which is area controlled by China, and this is the rest of the China, and this is India. So basically, what China is doing is that they are beginning to keep a nuclear arsenal in Indian territories, far western territories like Xinjiang region. So this base would be very close to Aksai Chin, and it would be very easy for China to just attack us from there. So what can we do? India's Strategic Forces Command SFC needs to be on high alert. We need to assess our nuclear doctrine. We need to read the double efforts to get a robust tried capability for defense. So basically, the challenges for India are constantly getting increased, and we need to be on our guard. And not only do we need to de-escalate the tensions, but whatever the outcome, we should seriously start assessing the nuclear doctrine and redouble efforts to get a robust triadic capability. So this article was by Harshvi Pant and Kartik Bomakanti. Harshvi Pant is a director of studies at the Observer Research Foundation, and Kartik Bomakanti is an associate fellow at the ORF in New Delhi. So this is what they had to say. And moving on, let's talk about India's dominance in South China Sea. So this article is in the op-ed page of the newspaper, and it's written by Jayant Prasad, who is a former diplomat, and he has served as the Director General of the Institute for Defense Studies and Analysis. So he is basically saying, so before I move on, this is China. That's the red country if you are following my, and this is Philippines, and these are the Spratly Islands. This is the nine dash line that China is sort of trying to impose by saying that this entire space inside the nine dash line, which is this, I hope you're following my cursor, belongs to China. So this nine dash line includes the Spratly Islands, which Philippines considers to be theirs. But China is saying no, all of this entire region belongs to us. This entire region of the sea belongs to us. So because of this problem, the Philippines had to invoke a dispute settlement mechanism of the UN Convention on the Law of the Sea in 2013 to test the legality of China's nine dash line regarding the disputed parties. So the Permanent Court of Arbitration, which is at The Hague, said the line has no legal basis. So, but China dismissed the judgment as null and void. So this is what I'm saying. The nine dash line, which is the area inside this, and partly islands that lie inside this, China is claiming to be theirs when they're not. So the Court of Arbitration had said that this line has no legal basis, but the China has completely dismissed what they have to say, and so it's a problem. So before we move on, I would just like to quickly discuss what the Permanent Court of Arbitration is, and these are some basic terms we need to know anyway. It's an intergovernmental organization located in The Hague, Netherlands. It is not a court in the traditional sense, but provides basic services of arbitral tribunal to resolve disputes that arise out of international agreements between member states, international organizations, or private parties. The cases span a range of legal issues involving territorial and maritime boundaries, sovereignty, human rights, international investment, and international and regional trade. It is constituted through two separate multilateral conventions with the combined membership of 122 states. It's not a United Nations agency but is an official United Nations observer. Secondly, the United Nations Convention or the Law of the Sea is also called the Law of the Sea Convention or the Law of the Sea Treaty is the international agreement that resulted from the Third United Nations Conference on Law of the Sea, UNCLOS C, which took place between 1973 and 1982. So the Law of the Sea Convention defines rights and responsibilities of nations with respect to their use of the world's oceans, establishing guidelines for business, the environment, and the management of natural resources. It came into force in 1994. So basically, what happened? So even in the Indian case with the Ernica Lexi, we invoked the United Nations Convention of the Law of the Sea, and eventually matters went to the Public Court of Arbitration, which gave its ruling. So the same thing is happening in happened with China in 2013, where but China completely dismissed what the Permanent Court of Arbitration had to say. So the verdict was that China had violated the Philippines' exclusive economic zone. China further aggravated the situation by constructing and harming the environment. So what China did after that, after claiming that this entire region belongs to them, is that they started constructing things over here. Okay, so by doing so, they not only harmed the environment, but they also claimed sovereignty wrongly claimed their sovereignty over an area where they didn't belong. So by this we see that that there is a growing discontent with China throughout the Asian region. So and slowly ASEAN is starting to deepen its military relationships with USA. So for the first time, we are seeing that the Asian regions are actually challenging the dominance of China, and this has never happened before, but this is beginning to happen. So the only thing that we can do with China is to isolate them, and that's what everyone is trying to do. So because of the growing discontent with China, Vietnam has added 6 kilo class Russian origin submarines to its navy. France, Germany, and Netherlands have supplied formidable class stealth ships to Singapore, patrol boats to Brunei, Darussalam, and corvettes to Indonesia. So all the countries are gearing up. The Japan has partially started funding upgradation of Indonesian Coast Guard. Indonesia and Philippines are in the early stages of procuring BrahMos from India. So what India needs to do, and the relevant options that we have in this case, is to continue to actively pursue its defense diplomacy outreach in the Indo-Pacific region. In case military training and conduct exercises and exchanges at a higher level of complexity, extend humanitarian assistance and disaster relief activities, share patrolling of Malacca Strait and the littoral countries. The comprehensive strategic partnerships that India has concluded with Australia, Japan, Indonesia, US, Vietnam could be extended to Malaysia, Philippines, Thailand, and Singapore. India must also buttress the military capacity of the Tri-Service Andaman and Nicobar Command. According to one of its early commander-in-chief, Aditya Singh, the manner in which the 368 islands have been neglected can only be termed as criminal. They have immense geostrategic value and they overlook Asia's maritime strategic lifeline and world's most important global sea lane. In this time of turbulence, India cannot afford to continue undervaluing one of its biggest assets. So they're basically saying we need to look at the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, the set of islands over there, and we need to strategically use them. And we need to have better relationships with countries like Thailand and Asian countries. So moving on, in the short news today, the center had said that they are trying to lay down vaccine trial norms. The candidate of COVID vaccines from India include Covaxin from Bharat Biotech and one from Zydus Cadila. So okay. So basically, the context and the controversy behind this was that ICMR had said that by August 15th we'll have a vaccine ready, but that would involve them cutting costs and cutting corners in the development of the vaccines. So vaccine development has three phases. Phase 1, which tests the vaccine on a few people to see if it's safe. Phase 2, to test it on a new group of people to see if it stimulates immune system to produce antibodies. And phase 3 is tested on thousands in the real world setting. So you cannot skip any of these three phases in order to develop the vaccine, and if only these phases are followed through, if the protocol is followed through, then only can we have a vaccine. So in short news today, we see that the US stance on countering American adversaries through sanctions has been unchanged. This is in context of India's recently purchasing Russian arms. So this was Mi-29 planes, 21 such fighter planes. We also purchased a Pinaka and also an Astara. Right, so US has obviously got issues with this, and this stance that they have on Katsa is unchanged. Thank you for watching me and for listening to me. If you like my content, I would please request you to press subscribe button and that will be great.